Hey, if you're new to my channel, then consider liking and subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me, and honestly, it'd make my day. If you already did, thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you like listening to fan fiction, check out my other channel. The link's in the description.
The Comet Wish by Moriana 19. What would you do if one night you made a wish on a comet, and the next morning woke up on the Going Merry? Join Rose, an otaku who's about to have the adventure of a lifetime, as she lives through the arcs of One Piece with the Straw Hats. Adios.
Days have passed since the escape from the mines, and right now Zira finished teaching Rose how to pick the lock on sea stone cuffs while Flint and Emma are examining Rose's necklace. Zira sits on the side of the boat while staring at Rose blankly while she practices the lock-picking technique she learned. Why did you want to learn how to pick these so badly? Rose keeps her focus on picking the locks on the cuffs. If I'm getting Ace out of the war, then I'm gonna have to get him out of his sea stone cuffs. Besides, as a devil fruit user myself, this skill is pretty useful. As long as I wear my gloves, the stone won't affect me. Why do you want to go to the war so badly? Why else? To help Luffy save Ace from dying. Speaking of the war though, what are you going to do? She tilts her head in confusion. What do you mean? Marineford's a dangerous place. I won't force you to come with me. Who needs forcing? I told you that I'll help you out, and that's what I'm gonna do. My power's more useful than you think. She quirks an eyebrow when she manages to unlock the cuffs. Alright, 10 minutes, a new record. What about your abilities can be helpful though? I'll show you. As you know, I ate the sound fruit. Not only can I imitate voices and sounds, but I can also channel those sounds at a distance. You'd better cover your ears. Rose does as she's told while Zira focuses her abilities and creates an invisible orb around the boat. Zira's the best bird pirate in the world. Ah! Both Flint and Emma yell as they run up to the deck of the boat. Keep it down, you crazy parrot. Emma yells. I'm not a parrot, you jerk. Alright, break it up. Sorry about that, guys. Zira was demonstrating her devil fruit powers to me, Rose says. Flint waves his hand dismissively. No worries, kid. You ready for tomorrow? She nods. Zira's been teaching me how to pick sea stone cuffs, so it's been a great help. Zira, I think your powers will be really useful too. Do you know how far you can channel your sound? Zira nods as she flies onto Rose's shoulder. If I focus my energy, I can channel my sound to an entire island, but I can only keep it for about a few minutes. That would be perfect. I don't want you to come with me to the platform because of how dangerous it will be. I'm going to sneak to the execution from above, then cause a disturbance. While I'm distracting them, I want you to try to disconnect the Den Mushis in the control area. Afterwards, I need you to hide in the clouds and give out a message to the battlefield. A message? I want you to try to copy Sengoku's voice and order the grunts to retreat. Emma looks at her in confusion. Why tell her to do that? I would have her threaten them about telling your secret. If she did that, then it will show Sengoku and the other higher-ups that they have that advantage over me, but if she does this, then maybe we can cause less casualties. Zira nods. I'll do it. Thanks. Once you give the message, I want you to get to safety. Zira slowly nods in understanding. You should be more concerned about yourself, Rose. By the way, what secret is Emma talking about? Oh right, I didn't tell you. You see, I'm from another dimension. Oh, I see. From another dim. She widens her eyes in shock. What? She nods while holding back from laughing. Yup. One night I accidentally used the Timor Comet's energy to bring me to this world. Not that I'm complaining though. I like it here. What the hell? That explains why you weren't surprised about me. Yup, but not only because of that. It's also because my crew has a humanoid reindeer, a cyborg, and a living skeleton, so a talking bird is pretty normal to me. Flint, Emma and Zira's mouths fall to the deck, causing Rose to laugh. You guys should see your faces. Ha ha ha. Emma recovers from the shock first. If they're that weird, then why are you so nervous about telling them who you are? She stops laughing and softly sighs. I already told you. I'm nervous about how they'd react to me, since before I came to this world I looked into their adventures, both the past and future. You know the crew's future? Zira asks. Yay, to an extent. It's a long story, literally. Zira tilts her head in confusion but nods. Alright then. Rose quirks an eyebrow. What do you mean, alright then? Like I said, you weren't scared of me, so why should I be scared of you? She blinks in surprise before petting Zira's head with a grin. Thanks, with that attitude you're gonna make a great pirate. Thanks, so what's your plan after the war, Rose? Flint asks. To be honest, I haven't given it a lot of thought. If I succeed in getting Ace and Luffy out, then I was planning on convincing Luffy to train with Rayleigh, then head to the Talon Mines to do some research on the crystal. Since I've already been there, I'll figure something out. What about you guys? We're gonna stay at Sabaody Archipelago for a little while, then hitch a ride to the New World, Emma says. You know, now that you mention it, on that page Flint wrote there was a message about not being able to go to the New World. What was that about? I was planning to head there to get more information before publishing the page, but then I found Emma as a child. The New World was no place for a pipsqueak like her, so I couldn't go and decided to publish my current findings. Now that she's grown, we've decided to try our luck in the New World, Flint says. Rose nods in understanding. Good for you guys. While you're at Sabaody, I recommend going to Shacky's Bar on Grove 13. It's a really good place. Will do? Flint gives her a thumbs up, causing Emma to sigh. Just what I need. An old drunk to take care of. I'm not that old, and I'm not a drunk, whatever. Anyway, let's get inside. I just finished dinner when the parrot scared us half to death. I'm not a parrot. Rose and Flint couldn't hold back from laughing as they watch Emma and Zira argue while they made it to the dining hall. As they start eating dinner, Flint hands Rose back her necklace. Thanks again for lending it to me. The difference between a crystal that used astral energy and a fresh crystal is fascinating. And if I didn't know better, I would have thought it was from this world. She nods with a soft grin as she takes the necklace back and puts it on. I should be the one thanking you for letting me view your new findings. They've really helped me to understand the crystal. He nods as Zira finishes her food. Not bad, Emma. I didn't think a brute like you could cook. What was that, bird brain? I can cook you up if you want. I'd like to see you try. She devil, Tweety. What's a Tweety? Bawahahaha. Both Rose and Flint laugh as they watch Emma and Zira argue. 5 belly on Emma. Flint says. Rose nods. I'll take that bet. Don't go making bets on us, you jerks. Both Emma and Zira yell, causing them to laugh even harder. Bawahahaha. They're like Zoro and Sanji. Rose recovers from laughing as she finishes her food. If you think this is good, Zira, just wait until the crew gets back together. Sanji's one of the best chefs in the world. Your cooking is really good too, Emma. Emma nods in satisfaction as she settles down. As long as you know it's good, it's fine. So, what are you going to do if Sengoku does tell your secret? I've been making preparations in case that does happen. Flint quirks an eyebrow. What kind of preparations? You'll find out tomorrow. I should go finish them up right now. She goes to take her plate to clean up, but Emma swipes it. We'll be taking care of that. You get going. Thanks, I'll see you guys tomorrow. She heads out of the dining hall and stays in her room for the rest of the night. Chaos ensues everywhere in Marineford as Rose fights through the vice admirals in Marineford. She glares at them as she unsheathes her blades. She starts running as she uses the back of her blades and jumps from marine to marine while knocking them out with the back of her blades. The Marines try everything to stop her. They try shooting. Ash attacks them. However, the attacks just go through her as she flies from marine to marine in order to knock them out. After knocking out the surrounding Marines, she sheathes her blades and flies up to search the area. Where are they? She freezes when she sees Luffy and Ace running through Marineford to make their escape while taking down any Marine that's in their path. There they are, guys. They didn't hear her, so she tries flying over to them but lands to dodge Kizaru's light beam as he materializes in front of her. Sorry to disappoint, Windrider, but you're not strong enough to defeat me. She clenches her teeth in rage as she turns her arms into twisters. I don't need to beat you, Glint Gorilla. I just need to be strong enough to get you to move out of my way. She extends the twister at Kizaru, causing him to turn himself into light. Both sides don't give an inch as Rose continually tries to punch him with her twisters while Kizaru keeps trying to blast her with his powers while she dodges until he jumps above her and blasts her to the ground. He towers over her and creates a light sword. Goodbye. Before he strikes her, Marco flies in and blocks the attack with his talons. Get going, Yui. Rose nods as she uses her wind to start flying. Thanks, Marco. She flies away while Marco holds off Kizaru. She punches out any marine in her way with her twister punches until she sees Luffy, Ace and Akainu in her sights. How dare you insult Whitebeard? Ace launches a fire fist at Akainu but was overpowered by Akainu's magma and was knocked to the ground. No, guys, just run. Rose tries to catch up to them but Doflamingo wraps his strings around her and slams her to the ground. Crap, he infused his strings with hockey. Foo. Nice try, kid, but someone has to die in this war. Just be a good girl and watch. Doflamingo takes control of her limbs and forces her to watch from a distance as Luffy collapses. Then Akainu launches magma at Luffy but Ace blocks the blow with his body. Ace! Luffy and Rose yell as Ace collapses from the blow. Rose bit her lip as she's struggling against the strings while watching Ace die in Luffy's arms. Damn it, Ace. Luffy. Her voice doesn't reach Luffy as the crossfire from the war blocks out her cries. Doflamingo watches her futile struggle in amusement. Foo. Now that was a fun show. Why don't you go join him in Hell, outsider? Doflamingo holds her down with his strings, leaving her body wide open as he points a finger at her. Bullet strain. He fires at her chest and kills her instantly. Rose woke up in a jolt from the nightmare in the middle of the night while gasping for breath and feels her chest to find the bullet wound not there. That wasn't a good sign. Sigh asterisk. She runs a hand through the hair as she gets up and walks onto the deck. She stops at the middle of the deck then looks up at the sky. I can't put too much thought into it or I'll psyche myself out. I'd better get the clouds ready. Rose flies up and uses her wind to collect the scattered clouds and forms them together into a giant overcast. Good thing I've been moving some of them with me along the way. I should finish practicing that new addition to the tornadoes. Once Rose was satisfied with her work, she lands back on the deck then gets her staff out to practice. Rose snapped 5 tornadoes and then focused an orb around each of them in order to keep them from growing. She tossed them up into the air and destroyed all but one, which she allowed to be released from the orb and grow. Before it could hit the deck, she destroys it with a wind blade. She continues creating tornado orbs then destroying them with ease with a grin. Hee, I'd like to see Hauser from the 7 Deadly Sins try this. I think I got the hang of this move. She softly smiles in satisfaction then relaxes as she sits down on the deck. I wonder how the others are doing. I hope you're making it out of Impel Down safely, Luffy. Her smile fades as she goes into her bag to grab the photo of the crew. I'm sure because of this stunt some of the others have figured out that I knew we were separating. I'm sorry, guys. We forgive you. She turns in shock to see Zera flying to her, causing Rose to whack her on the head. Who asked you? She laughs at the reaction. Sorry, so why are you apologizing to a photo? She sighs as she shows her the picture. This is a picture of my crew. I had everyone take it the day we separated. You said you knew the crew's future, right? If you knew that the event was going to happen, then why didn't you stop everyone from separating? I did it to get everyone strong enough for the new world. As we are now, we would have been annihilated the minute we landed on Fishman Island. Kuma sent the others to places that would get them strong enough for that challenge. She nods. What about your captain? You said he's heading to Marineford too, right? Yup. Kuma sent him someplace close and he should be on his way to the island by now. He was sent to. She suddenly felt a chill up her spine at remembering where he was sent to. Zera tilts her head in confusion. Where did he send him to? Amazon Lily. Oh shit. I completely forgot about Boa Hancock. If Luffy says anything about me, she'll consider me a love rival. Not like that's a lie. I'm not dealing with this during a freaking war. I'd better avoid her at all costs. Zera stares at her in shock. Are you sure he's not dead? Amazon Lily is the Isle of Women. I know, but don't worry, he managed. Something I learned about this world is that you never underestimate the luck of a D. She slowly nods as she takes a closer look at the picture. If you say so, wow, you weren't kidding about your crew. I'm not that scary compared to these guys. Do you think they'll accept me? She looks at Zera in shock. Are you kidding? You're amazing. Not only is your ability great, but you're pretty fun to have around. Luffy will ask you to join the crew like that. She snaps her fingers and accidentally creates a tornado. She frantically uses her wind to destroy it before it grew. Well, you get the idea. Ha ha ha, thanks. You know, I wouldn't worry so much about your secret getting out. She quirks an eyebrow. What do you mean? If they're as great as you say they are and you explain yourself, then I'm sure they'll forgive you. But in my opinion, there's nothing to forgive. You're working in their interest after all. She blinks in surprise before softly grinning. Thanks. Hey, wanna race a bit before the others get up? You're on. Last one to the clouds is a rotten vulture. Zira zipped past Rose as the two raced all over the sky until morning. After breakfast, Rose and Zira finish getting ready to leave as Emma and Flint see them off. Do you really have to leave now? Emma asks. Rose nods. Yup, if we take the boat any closer to the island, the Marines could start attacking you. Good luck in the new world. I look forward to your next edition. Flint nods with a smirk. Count on it. We're gonna stay in Sabaody for at least a week, so you can come find us after the war, and if you want you can come with us. She shakes her head. I appreciate the offer, but I think it's best if I don't cause you any more trouble. Besides, I'm not sure how long it will take to get back. Rose is cut off with a fist to the head by Emma. What do you mean, any more trouble? The last thing you are is trouble, you crazy kid. Don't go around thinking we're not friends. Flint nods in agreement. Couldn't have said it better, Emma, but I understand your reasoning. If your secret does get out, there will be no one who doesn't know you. If you need anything though, find us with this Vivre card. He hands her his Vivre card. Rose blinks in surprise before nodding with a grin and taking the card. Thanks, there's actually a favor I want to ask you guys. Emma blinks in surprise. What is it? Rose digs into her bag to grab 8 envelopes. The war is going to be broadcasted at Sabaody. If my secret gets out, I'd like you guys to mail THNT. Looks at them in shock. Are these for your crewmates? Rose slowly nods. They're letters to each of them explaining everything. Me being from another world. The true reason why I know about this world. And an apology for keeping them in the dark and telling them like this. They deserve to hear it from me at least. For Robin, I was at least able to tell her that the others know. Emma nods as she takes them. As soon as we hear it, we'll mail them out. Thank you. Zira looks at the envelopes in confusion. Hold on. I counted 10 in your crew. With the exception of you, there should be 9 letters. Why are there only 8? The one I left out is the one for Luffy. I plan on planting it on him in case we can't escape together. I see. Are you ready to go? Rose nods as she turns to the others. Thanks again for everything, guys. Flint pulls her into a hug while crying comical tears. Aw, I'm gonna miss you, kid. She chuckles as she hugs him back. I'll miss you too, Flint. Emma pries him off of her. Take it easy, old man. Rose, when you're out there, make sure to give those Marines hell. Rose nods with a smirk as she takes out Marineford's eternal pose and starts flying with Zira. Count on it, I'll see you around. They wave them off as they hide inside the giant cloud and start making their way to Marineford. As soon as we get to the island, I'll get to the control area, Zira says. Rose nods as they start seeing Marineford in their sights. Here it is. She clenches her fists as she stares at the island. I appreciate your help, Zira. Whatever you do, be very careful. These guys are a lot stronger than the ones at the mines. Who do you think you're talking to here? As long as we stick to the plan, it should be fine. I'll be watching what happens, so when you escape, I'll follow you. Rose nods as she manipulates the cloud to slowly make its way over the platform while trying to look natural. Good luck. She nods as she flies out of the cloud and gets into position. Rose slowly moves within the giant cloud to make herself directly above the execution platform. She looks down to see a shirtless, freckled man with messy black hair and scratches and bruises all over his body except for Whitebeard's mark that's tattooed on his back being secured onto the platform. Ace, just hold on. Rose snaps up about 15 tornadoes, locks them in orbs and catches them before they fell out of the clouds. She sends the tornadoes flying in different locations in the cloud when Sengoku started speaking through his baby Den Den Mushi. Everyone, today marks the execution of Portgas D. Ace. His death holds more importance than you realize. Ace, who is your father? Rose grits her teeth in rage as she turns her body into wind and gets ready to release the tornadoes. Like I'd let you have your way, Sengoku. Let's do this. The Marines have just finished securing Ace's cuffs to the platform and are currently on standby as the Marines set up their formation. Ace frowns as he looks up to the sky, which is overcast with clouds. Looks like a storm is brewing. Damn it. This is all my fault. Please be alright, Luffy. Pops. Huh? He widens his eyes in shock when he sees something moving in the clouds. Was that a bird? Or a person? I must be seeing things. He shakes his head when Sengoku steps up next to him. He starts activating his baby Den Den Mushi. Everyone, today marks the execution of Portgas D. Ace. His death holds more importance than you realize. Ace, tell USWHO your father is. He widens his eyes in realization of what he's doing. Whitebeard is my father. You're lying. No, it's the truth. Whitebeard is my... He cuts himself off as he and the others look up in shock to see small tornadoes falling out of the sky and growing while in midair to attack the admirals, vice admirals and the Shichibukai. The three admirals managed to dodge while most of the vice admirals took the blow along with half of the Shichibukai while the others dodged. Not again. Moria yells as he and Kuma are sent flying in the tornado. Foo. This was more interesting than I thought. Doflamingo says as he, Mihawk and Hancock dodge the tornadoes with ease. Rose. Aokiji stares at the tornadoes while he, Akainu and Kizaru dodge the tornadoes and start destroying them while more keep falling from the sky. What the hell? Ace stares at the tornadoes in shock while Sengoku grits his teeth in fury. Windrider, Marines. It appears that the war has started early. Windrider Rose has arrived. Wa. A tornado grew from under him, but before it could hit Ace, a wind barrier formed around him and redirected the tornado off the platform. How the... Ace snaps out of his thoughts when a skinny freckled brunette materialized out of the wind barrier with a grin. Rose sighed in relief. Phew, good thing I got the hang of turning myself into wind. Hi Ace, hold still while I get your cuffs off. His eyes widen in shock as she knelt behind him and got the tools to unlock the cuffs ready. Wait a minute. Who the hell are you? Did you do this? My name's Rose. Yup, I created the tornadoes with my devil fruit. Don't worry though, I only aimed for those I knew would be able to take the hit. It should hold them off long enough for Whitebeard's fleet to arrive. Sengoku's tornado sent him to the bottom of the platform before he manages to collect himself and destroy the tornado. He gets up in fury and grabs his baby Den Den Mushi. Marines? The one WHO, huh? He looks at the Den Den Mushi in shock to see that it's been disconnected. Some of the guards run towards him, causing him to turn to them in irritation. What's going on with the Den Den Mushi? Sir, it appears someone has invaded the control area. We lost contact with the operators and the room has been locked from the inside, so no one can get the connection back. What? GARP, go take care of Rose, I'll take care of the intruder. Garp nods as he runs up to the platform and gets his fist ready. I won't let you save him, Windrider. Garp makes it up to the platform and tries to get his fist through the barrier, but it held him back before it could hit her. Rose used her wind to push him back, then focuses more wind to strengthen the barrier to protect her from Garp's punches while working on getting the cuffs off. No offense Ace, but your grandpa's the scariest old guy I've ever seen. Damn it, your cuffs are more complicated than the ones I practiced on, just hang on. Ace couldn't get his eyes off her as she focuses on the cuffs. Why is she trying so hard to save me? Whitebeard didn't take a daughter, did he? She shakes her head. Nope, I'm part of another crew that I consider family. I'm working on my own. I'll explain after I get these cuffs off. She keeps working on Ace's cuffs while blocking Garp's punches. Zira nods in satisfaction of her work in knocking out the guards with her screech, locking the door, then cutting off all connections with the audio Den Den Mushis. I'm sure Rose won't mind if I keep the visuals up. I prefer that the viewers enjoy this show, ha ha ha. She flies out the window, then goes above the clouds while focusing her abilities. I'd better do this quick. Zira changes her voice to sound like Sengoku and channeled it throughout the island. Attention all levels of lieutenant and non-marine captains. I order you to retreat. If you can't handle these tornadoes, then you can't handle Whitebeard. He's far more powerful than this. Get out now. She pants from exhaustion as she cancels the echo, then lands on a cliff to rest. Damn it, it took a lot more out of me than I thought. Good luck, Rose. The Marines look around in shock. Whitebeard is stronger than this? One of the Marines says. Can we take this? Let's do what he says. The lower level Marines start retreating. Mihawk quirks an eyebrow at the order while destroying one of the tornadoes. I have a feeling that was a trick. Aokiji looks up at the barrier. Did she make the order to avoid casualties? Akainu clenches his teeth as he destroys another tornado. The infamous outsider is rather clever. I'll be sure that she doesn't leave here alive. Ace looks at the crowd in confusion since the barrier blocked out the sound. What's going on down there? My friend ordered the grunts to retreat with her devil fruit ability. Whoa! Rose ducked to avoid Garp's punch as he broke her barrier, then gave him a twister kick to send him flying halfway down the stairs before recreating the barrier and getting back to the cuffs. I knew the barrier wasn't strong enough for him. I can't believe Garp took the kick. Get out while you can, Rose. The old man's crazy, Ace says. I know he's crazy. I dealt with his fist before. Just relax. Whitebeard and your brother are on their way here. What? Luffy's coming. Yup. You really think he'd leave you behind? Rose says as she keeps working on picking the lock. I think I'm starting to get the lock now. Ace grits his teeth in rage. Luffy, you idiot, stay away from here. Sengoku breaks open the door to the control room to find the Marines knocked out. The subordinates that came with him managed to regain the connection. He looks out the window in shock to find that the lower-level Marines are starting to retreat. They actually followed that fake order? Those idiots. This has to be Windrider's doing. He grabs his baby Den Den Mushi and yells in fury while running back to the platform. Attention everyone, that was a fake order. Do not retreat. The 1WHO has bombarded the execution is Katone Rose. This girl is a member of the Straw Hat Pirates and is one of the most dangerous enemies in the world. She is from another world. She used the power of Hell's Comet to come to this world in order to cause chaos in her wake. This outsider is the devil of Hell's Comet. The lower-level Marines freeze and look up at the platform in shock and fear. Hell's Comet? An outsider? We have Whitebeard and a demon to deal with? Kobe looks up in astonishment. So Luffy managed to recruit someone like that in his crew. Did he know about her? Helmeppo shrugs his shoulders. I'm not sure, but if he didn't then I feel sorry for him. Garp glares at her in irritation as he runs back up the stairs. Did you know what Sengoku was going to say, Windrider? If so, you have my thanks for protecting his secret even at the cost of yours being revealed. Even so, Ace won't be saved by you, pirate brat. He uses his fists to keep trying to break through the barrier while the Marines are frozen in shock. In Sabaody Archipelago, the citizens, journalists and pirates are staring at the visual screen in shock. What did he say? A girl from another world, one of the citizens says. Whitebeard even has demons like them on his side, another citizen says. Shachi looks at the screen in shock. Rose is from another world. His shocked expression immediate look of excitement. Whoa, she's amazing. Penguin and Beppo nod in agreement as they watch the screen in excitement while Law watches the screen with a smirk. So that's what was going on with her. How interesting. Let's see what happens next. They keep watching the screen while the reporters rush to a Den Den Mushi. Call the head reporter. This is a big scoop. The journalists say as they write down what Sengoku said frantically in their notebooks while running. Flint takes a swig from a bottle of sake in irritation as he watches the journalists writing their stories. Bunch of story-hungry assholes. Selling Rose's story for some scoop. Emma, did you mail out the letters? She nods as she takes a swig from her own bottle. I did it as soon as we landed on the island. Her friends deserved to know the truth, but now it's justified. It will be able to make it to them before the newspapers can now. I wish these reporter assholes could get a life. Rose is not some demon. You guys know too? Emma and Flint look in shock to see Mari and her fiancée Judy walking up to them. Thank goodness. I thought it was just us, Mari says. Emma blinks in surprise. Who are you? I'm Mari and this is my fiancée Judy. Rose saved me from being forced to marry a celestial dragon and Judy was brought to the hospital by one of her friends after he was shot by one. I don't care what the world says. Rose is a good person. Both of them blink in surprise before grinning. You're good people. Wanna join us in watching our friend kick some marine ass? Flint asks. Judy nods. That would be great. Thank you. They join them to watch as Rose keeps blocking Garp with the barrier around them. The Shichibukai look up at the platform in both anger and excitement after hearing the news and trying to avoid and destroy the tornadoes. Foo. So the secret of the outsider has been revealed. I don't regret being here at all now, Doflamingo says as he smirks up at the platform. That witch. If I ever get my hands on her Hancock clenches her fists in fury. She must have bewitched my beloved Luffy with her otherworldly magic. I won't forgive her for her deceit. Kishishishi. So the truth finally comes out for the outsider. Moria says with a smirk as he recovers from the tornado while they work to destroy the rest of the tornadoes. Ace looks down in worry and confusion for he couldn't hear Sengoku's proclamation. What's going on down there? Did he tell them my secret? Don't worry Ace, your secret's safe. I can tell it's my secret, he told. Rose bit her lip as she kept working on the cuffs. No turning back. I think I almost got the lock. Your secret? Wait, you knew what Sengoku was going to say? Did she do this to prevent them from knowing I'm the Pirate King's son? Ace grits his teeth in rage as he jerks the cuffs away from her. Do you realize what you're doing? You're making the entire world your enemy. Why are you letting this happen to save me? She twitches an eye in irritation and grabs the cuffs back while getting back to picking the locks while focusing her wind. As a pirate I'm already an enemy to the world government, so I don't care about what they think of me. As for why I'm saving your ass, I can give you 3 reasons off the top of my head, but the list can pile on. 1. You have people that care about you and don't want you dead. 2. You're a good person. Now shut up and let me help you. He blinks in surprise. Wait, what about the third one? We freckled logia users ought to stick together. That shouldn't be on the list. She softly laughs. Sorry, I was only kidding. The real third reason is that my captain would never forgive me if he found out that I knew what was going on and did nothing. He blinks in confusion. Your captain? She nods. I think he's shocked enough about me right now. I'll tell him I'm a part of Luffy's crew later. Yup, you know him pretty well. Oh, before I forget, if I can't get you out, don't fall for Akainu's taunts, okay? Alright, I think I got. Garp managed to send his fist through the barrier and punch Rose to send her flying off the platform. Crap, before Rose could use her wind, her shoulders were grabbed by 2 talons. She looks up in shock to see Marco in his phoenix form carrying her to his ship. She looks in shock to see Whitebeard and his fleet arriving to the scene. Looks like it's begun. Gurarara. So the party started without us? We'll have to fix that. Whitebeard uses his devil fruit powers to create tsunamis to come hurtling towards the island. Aokiji uses his ice to freeze the waves before they crashed onto the island. It looks like the war is about to really begin now. Marco drops Rose on the deck of the Moby and returns to his human form. I don't know who you are, but thanks for stalling them, Yoi. Rose nods with a grin. I should be the one thanking you for that awesome catch. Ace looks at them in distress. Pops, I ignored your warnings and went out on my own. Why didn't you just forget about me? It's my own fault I ended up like this. Take that girl and get yourselves out of here while you can. Whitebeard huffs. I was the one who told you to go, son. Ace looks at him in shock. Liar, what are you talking about? I ran after Blackbeard to avenge Thatch even when you told me not to. No, I told you to go. Isn't that right, Marco? He nods. Heard it with my own ears. Sorry about this, Ace. The world ought to know anyway what happens when they mess with a Whitebeard pirate. Don't worry, Ace, we're coming. The rest of the crew yells as most of them jump off the boat and charge the battlefield while Whitebeard turns to Rose. Who are you, Brad? Rose looks up at him in awe. So this is the legendary Whitebeard. Amazing, my name's Katone Rose. You're here to help? She nods. Don't ask for my reasoning. Wasn't going to, Brad. I can use your help. Consider us allies. I'll do what I can to help. She jumps off the ship while unsheathing her twin blades and starts fighting off the Marines. Everyone, take down the Devil of Hell's Comet. We have to make her pay for those tornadoes, half of the captains yell as they charge at her. She twitches an eyebrow as their swords and cannon shots go through her. Looks like it's true that my secret was revealed to the world. Hee hee, Devil of Hell's Comet, huh? I much prefer the title you Marines gave me. But if you want a wind devil, you got one. She charges at them while they keep trying to attack her. She uses her wind to fly and hit their heads to knock them out one after another as fast as she can with the back of her blades while allowing their strikes to go through her. She dodges the cannon fire, then snaps a tornado at the incoming Marine captains to send them flying. She destroys the twister, then softens the landing of the knocked out Marines. Akainu should be attacking by now. She flies up and uses her wind to blow away the magma shots that were aimed at the Moby. Whitebeard looks at her impressed. Thanks for the help, Brad. Anytime. Rose jumps back into the fight to knock out as many Marines as she could while backing up the Whitebeard pirates. Ace watches the fight in shock as Garp takes a seat beside Ace while Sengoku returns to the platform. "What are you still doing here, Garp? Do you have any complaints?" Sengoku asks. He shakes his head as he crosses his arms over his chest. "I have no pity for pirates. If I wanted to try something I would have done it a long time ago." "Well then, shut up, Sengoku. As I said, I have no pity for pirates, but family is a different matter." Tears start streaming down Garp's face, causing Ace to look at him in shock. "Damn you, Ace. Why couldn't you live the way I wanted you to?" "Gramps." Ace looks at him sadly while Sengoku scowls at him, then continues to watch the battle. Rose looks up at them sadly while continuing to fight off the Marines. Looks like Garp and Ace are having their moment. Luffy should be arriving soon. I'd better help clear a path for him. Wind Rider. Rose turns to Esser with half of his body made of smoke. "Smoker? Ha ha ha. He really does look like Bobby the park cop." She blocks his jeet with her twin blades with a grin while getting her leg ready for a twister kick. "Bobby, long time no see, how have you been?" Smoker looks at her in confusion. Who the hell's Bobby? She smirks while kicking him in the gut with her twister kick to send him flying and slams him against a building. "My bad. You look like a cop that used to chase me around the city all the time back in my world." He recovers with a groan and glares at her. "You should go bother him back in your world." She chuckles at that. "Where's the fun in going back when I can stay here and mess with you, Smokey?" "Why you?" He launches his smoke at her, but she redirects it with her wind, then uses her staff to create a whirlwind to send him flying to the opposite side of the battlefield. "Leave him alone." Tashigi tries to strike at her from behind, but her sword goes through her. "Sorry, Tashigi." Rose attacks her with a twister punch to send her flying and slams her to the ground to knock her out. "Man, how many more?" She snaps out of her thoughts to look up in shock to see Luffy, Jinbei, Buggy, and the impelled down convicts falling from the top of the glacier. "Luffy, hang on." Rose uses her wind to soften the fall and bring them to land, but had to drop them 10 feet from the ground in order to get away from Moria before he could grab her shadow. "Moria." Rose glares at him as she charges at him while he smirks and creates shadow bats to attack her as they face off. "What just happened?" Buggy asked as he and the others brushed themselves off from the fall. Luffy gets up and looks to see Ace on the platform. "Ace, we're coming." Weird though, that wind was just like... He cuts himself off when he sees Crocodile about to attack Whitebeard, then blocks his attack. Crocodile recovers and glares at Luffy. "Why are you defending Whitebeard, Straw Hat? Don't we have an arrangement?" Luffy glares back at him. "So this guy really is Whitebeard. I won't let you attack him. Ace cares about him." Whitebeard looks at him with interest. "A lot of interesting people are here to fight today. Brat, that straw hat you're wearing. It resembles the one red hair used to wear." Luffy nods. "You know Shanks? I'm borrowing his hat. Are you here to save your brother?" "That's right. Don't you realize who you're up against? You don't stand a chance here." "Shut up. I'm the one who's gonna save Ace." He chuckles at his enthusiasm. "Cheeky brat. Just don't get in my way. I don't take orders from you. Hang on, Ace." Luffy runs through the battlefield while not noticing Rose facing off against Moria at the opposite side of the battlefield. "Kishishi. Long time no see, outsider. You've gotten stronger than the last time we met," Moria says as he tries to attack her with his shadow bats, but she sends them flying. She glares at him as she sheathes her staff to crack her knuckles. "Not long enough in my opinion, you asshole. Actually, I take that back. I've wanted to see you since we parted in order to get back at you for not only placing my shadow in ores, but threatening to reveal my secret at Thriller Bark." She flies at him while he takes the surrounding Marines' shadows and eats them, but Rose gives him a twister punch to the gut to force him to spit them out and send him flying. While he's in the air, Rose flies above him and turns both of her arms into twisters, then gives him a twister punch to the face and to the gut to slam him to the ground. "That'll teach you. You son of a bitch." She nods in satisfaction when she sees Luffy running through the island while being protected by the Whitebeard Division commanders. She flies to follow them while avoiding the Marines' attacks and knocking out any Marines in her way. Ace looks at Luffy in shock as he's running towards the platform. "Damn it, Luffy, I don't want to drag you into this too." He grits his teeth before yelling. "Stay away, Luffy. I shouldn't have to tell you this, you idiot. We've both sailed the ocean for our own goals. I have my own nakama and adventures to live. I don't remember asking you to interfere. Ace, Rose grits her teeth as she beats up the Marines in her path while trying to catch up to Luffy. Luffy punches a Marine in his way while yelling up to him angrily. I'm helping you because I'm your brother. I don't care about stupid pirate rules. He keeps running while the Marines look at him in confusion while attacking. These two are brothers? They do kind of look similar. Sengoku gets his baby Den Den Mushi ready. Monkey D. Luffy and Portgas D. Ace are not related by blood. Luffy is the son the revolutionary dragon and Zera flies into the scene and swipes the baby Den Den Mushi from his hand, then flies right beside Sengoku as she avoids his arms from grabbing her. This is why I hate Marines. You're worse than pirates. She screeches in his ear, causing him to fall to his knees while recovering as she threw the baby Den Den Mushi off the platform and breaks it. I refuse to let you tell his secret after you revealed Rose's. Wah! She dodges the bullets aimed at her while flying away and continually avoids the attacks. What the hell was that? Garp says as he and Ace are recovering from the screech, but didn't see Zera's attack. Twister punch. Rose punches the snipers aiming at Zera from behind and slams them to the building. Leave her alone, assholes. She looks up at Zera with a grin as she's flying away. Thanks for protecting Ace's secret. Thanks for the help, Zera. Get to safety. Zera nods as she flies to a safe part of the island to watch the battle while Rose charges forward to fight off the Marines in her way. Ace bites his lower lip as he lowers his head to the platform to stop himself from crying, then lifts his head up. Gramps. What now? The hand that saves me or the blade that kills me? I won't resist either anymore. I owe everyone that much. Garp's heart drops to his stomach as he faces the battle and watches as Rose gets slammed to the ground by a Marine. Rose gets back up as she turns her fists into twisters and punches out the Marine that slammed her to the ground. Damn it, every time I try flying over the Marines to get to Luffy I keep getting forced to the ground. I don't want to turn my body into wind unless it's an emergency because of how draining it gets, so I have no choice but to fight through. She clenches her teeth in frustration as she charges forward while punching out any Marines that try to stop her. Get out of my way. She sends them flying when she sees Ivankov and Kuma facing off against one another. Death wink. Ivankov strikes him, but the attack doesn't faze him as he fires a beam at him. Wind barrier. Rose blocks the beam, then snaps a tornado at him that grows and sends him flying. Sorry Kuma, or should I say PX0. I don't know why you allowed them to do this to you, but I'm sure you have your reason. Ivankov, which way did Luffy go? Ivankov blinks in surprise before glaring at her. Who might you be? If you're here to hurt Straw Hat Boy, I'll be sure to wait. You're in that photo of his crew. She nods with a grin. Windrider Rose at your service. I've been trying to catch up to Luffy, but I can't find him. He went that way, Rose girl. Thank you for the help. He points in Luffy's direction. She nods. Thanks Eva-chan. I'm sorry for attacking Kuma. I know he was a good friend of yours as a revolutionary. I'll see you later. She flies away, causing Ivankov to gape at her in shock. She knew Kuma was a revolutionary. He turns to see PX0 revive and look at Rose's direction. Wind Rider Rose. 97 million bounty. He aims his paws at her, but Ivankov kicks him. Wouldn't be right if I couldn't repay the debt to Rose girl. Be prepared to face my newcomer Kenpo. Ivankov faces off against Kuma while Rose fights through the battlefield. She freezes as she hears the sound of explosions from the pacifistas, then realizes that she forgot something important. Oh crap! About Squardo. She turns her body into wind in order to rush back to Whitebeard's ship as quickly as she could. Whitebeard turns in surprise to see Squardo walking up to him on the Moby. There you are, Squardo. I tried contacting you earlier. He nods as he walks with his spear. My bad, old man. It looks like those in the rear are taking a beating from the pacifistas. Whitebeard nods. I'll be joining the battle soon. We too have to push forward. True enough. Every one of us owes you a great debt after all. He turns to Whitebeard while getting his spear ready. Marco looks at them in confusion. What's Squardo doing up there? He freezes in shock to see Squardo about to stab Whitebeard until a gust of wind flies past him and sends Squardo flying in Marco's direction before he could harm him. Marco slams him to the ground in fury. Did Rose do that? Who exactly is this girl? Ace looks at the scene in shock along with everyone else on the battlefield. Glad I made it in time to stop it, Akainu that asshole, manipulating one of Whitebeard's sons. If I get my hands on him I'll send him flying to the freaking moon. Rose rematerializes in one of the back streets away from the battle to sit down from exhaustion and catch her breath. Turning my body into wind for that long takes too much out of me. I'd better rest here for a bit. She watches the scene on the Mobi as Marco yells at Squardo. What were you trying to do, Squardo? Squardo swipes at him with his spear in fury. Shut up. You're the ones who forced us into this. Admit it, Whitebeard. You made a deal with the Marines, right? You planned to sacrifice the 43 captains following you in order to get your Whitebeard pirates and Ace out of here. The 43 captains look at them in shock as Squardo keeps ranting. Look around, everyone. The Marines are targeting only us. And we're blocked by the frozen waves so we can't escape. Is this true, boss? One of the captains yells, but Whitebeard doesn't say anything. Squardo glares at him as he clenches his fists in frustration. I was even close to a hit too. If that gust of wind didn't stop me I could have done it. I don't care if you kill me. You already sent us to our graves anyway. Marco grabs him by the collar of his shirt in fury. Squardo, you idiot, you were tricked. Whitebeard walks up to them. Squardo, you attacked your father with your blade. You're an incredibly stupid son. Squardo prepares for a blow but it never comes as Whitebeard reaches down to hug him. Even though you're stupid I still love you. Squardo keeps glaring at him. Don't mess with me, you threw away our lives. Who told you this? Akainu told me everything about your plan. He told me if I killed you we would all be spared. Whitebeard gets up and glares at Sengoku. You haven't lost your touch, Sengoku. Going for something as underhanded as this. He raises an arm while ignoring his subordinates' yells. I would sacrifice my son's lives? He slams his fist in the air to create an earthquake to destroy the frozen waves and give the pirates a way to escape. If you are pirates, choose for yourselves who to believe. The captains look at him in shock before grinning. He gave us a way to escape. I knew he wouldn't betray us. I'm gonna kill these Marines for doing something so underhanded. If you want to fight with me, be prepared to give up your lives, Whitebeard yells as he joins the fight. Squardo freezes in shock, then falls to his knees as tears start streaming down his face. I almost committed a grave sin. I'm sorry, Pops. If you're sorry, then stop crying and make it up to him, Yoi, Marco says as he watches Whitebeard fight. That wind girl must have created that gust of wind to stop Squardo from stabbing him. If it wasn't for that, Whitebeard would have been hit. His condition is worsening. He clenches his teeth as he and Squardo jump into the fight. That's enough resting. I have to get going. Rose gets up and rejoins the fight to see Luffy breaking through the plaza while the commanders are fighting. Rose unsheathes her twin blades and flies over the siege wall with ease, then dodges the cannons fired at her and was slammed to the ground by a vice admiral's staff. Why you? This guy has armament hockey. She dodges his next blow while charging forward. Windblade cross. He takes the blow and counters while she turns her leg into a twister. Twister kick. She manages to send him flying and slams him to a nearby building. Man, these guys won't quit. She fights through the Marines left and right as she tries to catch up to Luffy while Ace looks down from the platform in distraught, then bows his head while trembling. What's the matter, Fire Fist? Sengoku says as he and Garp look at him curiously. Ace can't stop trembling while responding. I'm awful, I'm so messed up. At a time like this, my old man, Nakama, Luffy and even a total stranger are fighting so hard to save me, and yet, I'm so happy that I can't stop crying. He keeps his head ducked as he allows his tears to flow freely onto the platform. Now when I'm about to die, I want to live. Rose looks up at Ace sadly as she keeps charging through the battlefield. I can't stop now. She keeps fighting when she sees Marco facing off against Kizaru with a vice admiral ready to put sea stone cuffs on him from behind. Crap. Rose flies over with her leg as a twister. Twister kick. She sends the vice admiral flying and knocks him out before he got the cuffs on Marco, causing Kizaru and Marco to look at her in shock. What the? You again? Marco says as she glares at Kizaru. Ooh, good to see you again, outsider. Kizaru says as he smiles at her with ease. Sadly, I can't say the same, Kizaru. Rose says as she gets ready to fight, but Marco touches her shoulder. Hold on. He's mine. It's the least I can do since you stopped the cuffs from coming on me and stopped Pops from getting stabbed, Yoi. She looks at him in shock. How do you know it was? Anytime. Thanks, Marco. She runs away while Kizaru points a finger at her. Like I'd let you get away. He fires a light beam, but it was redirected by Marco's kick. Your opponent is me, Kizaru. Those two face off while Rose keeps going. It should be time for Luffy to get Ace's cuffs off soon. She looks around to see Luffy climbing up to the platform. I'm on my way, Luffy. Love arrow. She turns and dodges Hancock's love arrows, then looks to see a pissed-off Boa Hancock facing her. You little witch, for bewitching my love I will make you pay. Rose blinks in surprise before groaning. Oh, for crying out loud. Rose twitches an eyebrow in irritation as she continuously dodges Hancock's kicks while Luffy makes it onto the platform. Her hockey's a real pain in the ass. Damn it. I don't have time for this. Hold on, Hancock. You've been helping Luffy, right? Then we're on the same side. Hancock glares at Rose as she sends her flying with a kick, but she quickly recovers and tries to fly away. Hancock jumps above her and tries to kick her to the ground, but she dodges by landing. She lands in front of her and continues her barrage of kicks while Rose keeps dodging. Bullshit. You have Luffy wrapped around your finger with your magic. I command you to free him from your spell. Rose looks at her in confusion as she slams Hancock to the ground with her wind, but she quickly recovers and keeps attacking her. I don't have a spell on Luffy. Where the hell did you get the idea that I can use magic? What does she think? I'm the witch from XXXholic or something? It's the only thing that makes sense. Luffy chose you over a beautiful woman like me after all. She widens her eyes in shock while lightly blushing as she blocks her love arrows with her wind. What the hell did he say to you? He said it clear as day to me. It's obvious you placed a curse on him. She starts firing love arrows in rage while remembering her conversation with Luffy. A few days ago on Hancock and Luffy's trip to impel down, Hancock is getting the tea ready while Luffy eats the food that she brought in for him. So Luffy, why not tell me about your crewmates? Hancock asks as she pours his tea. He keeps munching on his food while nodding. Who should I talk about first? There's Zoro, Sanji, Chopper, Brook, Usopp, Frankie, Nami, Robin, oh there's Rose. Hancock looks at him in shock while placing the teapot on the table. There are women in your crew? Wait, Rose as in Katone Rose? I heard about her. She's the one who came into this world through Hell's Comet. Did she sneak into Luffy's crew to take advantage of him? Luffy nods with a big grin while not reading the atmosphere. Yup, Rose is great. She's nice, strong, smart, funny and always takes me flying. We're a couple. Hancock looks at him in utter horror when she heard the word, couple. That witch did seduce him. Do you know what Rose actually is, Luffy? She's an outsy. He slams his food on the table then glares at her. Don't call her an outsider, I don't care about any of that. Rose is awesome the way she is. She freezes in shock while slowly nodding. I don't understand. He's so happy when talking about this brat and immediately protects her. That's it, she must have used some sort of magic from her world to control Luffy. That's why he didn't turn to stone from my power after he saw me naked. It's a love spell. Don't worry, Luffy. I promise to save you from this witch. He gets back to his food while ignoring Hancock's daydreaming while she clenches her fists in silence. Rose looks at her in utter shock while her face is completely red from the explanation. I love you, Luffy, but I think you signed my death warrant. Whoa! She dodges Hancock's blows while trying to fight back, but she dodges her attacks. They both freeze to see the sky filled with fire after Luffy managed to get Ace's sea stone cuffs off. Honestly, Luffy, you're always doing something reckless, Ace says as he rematerializes from the fire and lands on the bottom of the platform with Luffy. I never thought I'd be saved by you, Luffy. Thank you. She. It's only because the old man and your crew helped me out. Luffy grins as the two of them fight off the Marines striking at them. Don't falter, Marines. We have to kill them both, the Vice Admirals yell as they charge at Ace and Luffy, but they couldn't handle Luffy and Ace's strength. Whitebeard grins in satisfaction as he struggles to keep up with the fight against the Marines. Woo! Ace is free. Clear a path for Straw Hat and Ace. The Whitebeard pirates and convicts cheer as they continue fighting to help the two of them make a run for it to the ships. It's almost time for that moment. I have to get going now. Rose tries to catch up to them, but Hancock blocks her off. You're not going anywhere, outsider. Luffy, great job in saving Ace. I'll be sure to complete my mission and free you of her soon enough. Rose clenches her teeth in frustration when she gets sent flying back with a kick by Hancock, then counters with a twister punch, but she takes the blow and charges at her. Damn it. Of all the women to have a crush on Luffy, it had to be the Snake Princess. I hope Ace actually listened to my warning. Love beam. Rose snaps out of it to get caught in her beam. Shit. She braces herself to be turned to stone, but it doesn't happen. She blinks in confusion, then looks down at herself while moving her limbs. Huh? Hancock looks at her in shock, then tries again. Love beam. She shoots the beam again, but it doesn't turn Rose to stone. What the hell? Why didn't you turn to stone? She charges at Rose in fury and keeps trying to kick her while she dodges. Rose tilts her head in thought while dodging. Now that I think about it, the beam only works if someone is attracted to you. To be honest, the whole time I watched her in the anime, she creeped me out to no end. It didn't help her image in that she's a bitch too. Looks like that saved me. She snaps out of her thoughts to duck and avoid Hancock's kick to the head. I get it, your magic makes you immune to my beauty. I don't care if I have to beat you to death. I demand that you release Luffy from his spell. She clenches her teeth in irritation as she turns her arm into a twister. I keep telling you I didn't use magic on him. I'm not a witch. She sends Hancock flying with a twister punch to a nearby building, but it doesn't faze her as she gets up and charges at her. I don't want to hear that crap. If it's true that you're not a witch, then what are you doing in this world? Don't you realize that you're messing with Luffy's life just by existing here? Rose widens her eyes in shock at Hancock's words, then gets kicked in the gut and slammed to the ground. Before Rose can recover, Hancock pins her to the ground by stepping on her chest. Hancock looks down at her while continuing her rant. Do you honestly think you could have a chance with him if you didn't use a spell? An ugly bitch like you isn't worthy of being his lover compared to a beautiful woman like me? I'm sure Luffy will thank me once you're gone. She creates a love arrow and aims at Rose but freezes when the island starts to shake. They turn to see Whitebeard creating earthquakes while panting from exhaustion as he takes the Marine's blows. While Hancock was distracted, Rose sent her flying in the air with a twister punch, then snaps a tornado from under her and flies above her with both of her arms as twisters. Twister barrage. She traps Hancock in the twister barrage, then cancels out the tornado and kicks Hancock to the ground. She lands next to Hancock and glares down at her while they both pant from exhaustion. You know something, Hancock? You're right. Hancock widens her eyes in shock, then glares at her. So you really did trap him in a love spell? Then release my love from your curse, right? Rose cuts her off with a by grabbing the collar of her dress, slams her to a wall, then glares at her in the eye. Shut up, Medusa. I can't perform love spells. Do you want to know the reason why he doesn't see you as a lover? It's because you're a cold-hearted snake bitch who thinks that you can get whatever you want with your looks. Her glare started to soften as she sighed. That being said, I appreciate your help in getting Luffy this far. What I meant before was you're right in that I've been messing with Luffy's life. Even so, I'm selfish too for wanting to stay by his side. In order to make it up to him, I plan to do whatever I can to help him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go send a lava mutt flying, so that the man we both love not only leaves here alive but with his brother. She lets GRNS her body into wind to fly as fast as she can to get to Ace and Luffy. Hancock stares at her in shock, then falls to her knees while clenching her fists. That bitch, I can't believe she attacked me. I underestimated her. If she saves Luffy though, I'll forgive her for this humiliation. She falls to the ground and passes out. Whitebeard starts panting from exhaustion while the Whitebeard pirates look at him in concern. Pops, what's wrong? Namur asks. You did enough, Pops. We should get going, Whitey says. Marco clenches his teeth as he faces off against Kizaru. His condition really is getting worse. Stopping the stabbing just delayed the inevitable. He keeps fighting Kizaru while Whitebeard turns to the crew. Whitebeard clenches his spear before yelling. Whitebeard pirates. We've accomplished our objective here. There's no more reason for us to stay here. This is my last order. You will all part with me here and leave for the New World. Ace stares at him in shock along with the division commanders. What are you talking about, Pops? Vista yells, last order. You're planning on staying here, Haruta yells. Whitebeard raises his arm to get ready to create another earthquake. The times have passed me by. There's no ship to bring me to the new age. He creates another earthquake that destroys half of the buildings on the island. Go now. The Whitebeard pirates reluctantly started to make a run for it. Most of the Marines focus their attention on Whitebeard as they continually strike him with cannon shots. Fire Fist. Ace shoots fire at the Marines around Whitebeard to protect him, then gets on his hands and knees and bows to Whitebeard as he turns to his son. I don't need your words, Ace. I just have one question though. Was I a good father? Ace clenches his teeth as he keeps his head down to hold back from crying, of course. Gurarara, thank you. Now go. He laughs as he continues his rampage against the Marines. The pirates pushed Ace and Luffy forward in order for them to get away while covering them against the Marines. Ace clenches his fists as he keeps running. Pops, I'm sorry for this and thank you. Wait, that Rose girl. What happened to her? Did she get away? He searches the battlefield for Rose while making a run for it with Luffy. Luffy looks at him in confusion. You forget something, Ace? He shakes his head. I'm looking to see if that pirate girl's still here. I didn't see her when we got off the platform. Luffy quirks an eyebrow in confusion. Pirate girl? He nods with a grin. Yay, you should have seen her. She swooped in out of nowhere before the war started and stopped my secret from getting out. I'm also sure it was her that stopped Squardo from stabbing Pops. It was amazing. It's like she knew exactly what was going to happen. Luffy's eyes widened in shock, then stopped running, causing Ace to stop as well. What's the matter, Lou? Is Rose really here? He looks at Ace with a serious look on his face. Ace, this girl. Did she have long brown hair, freckles, and big cute purple eyes? Ace looks at him in shock. Did he just say cute? Wait, yay, exactly, do you know her? He widens his eyes in shock. She's in my crew, and we're a couple. What? Ace's eyes widen as he remembers what Rose said. My captain would never forgive me if he found out that I knew what was going on and did nothing. You're her captain? Wait, did you just say, a couple? Akainu blasts through the pirates behind Ace and Luffy, then walks up to the pair. Everyone saves Ace and now they're running away. What a bunch of cowards. But with a loser like Whitebeard as a captain, there's no helping it. What did you say? Ace turns to Akainu angrily as he continues taunting him. Gold Roger stood in his way, and even after he died, Whitebeard still couldn't become Pirate King. You're all just a bunch of thugs playing house on the sea. Just ignore him, Ace. Keep going. Some of the Whitebeard pirates try to hold him back, but he ignores them. Take it back. What do you know about Whitebeard's greatness? Don't fall for Akainu's taunts. He shakes his head to ignore Rose's warning. He sailed across the seas for decades and didn't accomplish anything. I even convinced one of his idiotic sons to try to stab him with some sweet talk, and he still wants to protect him. Flames start growing out of Ace at every word while ignoring his comrades' protests. Shut up. Whitebeard is the man who created this era. Whitebeard will die as a loser. A befitting death for the king of trash. This era will be known as Whitebeard. Ace couldn't hold back anymore as he blasts his fire fist to Akainu, but he countered with his magma and overpowered Ace's fire, causing his hand to get burned. Ace. Luffy goes to help him, but he falls on his hands and knees from exhaustion and drops Ace's Vivre card in front of him. His card. Akainu looks to Luffy while Ace is recovering from the blow. You shouldn't overestimate your abilities, Fire Fist. Magma overpowers fire just as how justice overpowers evil. Great sins run through both of you. I'll never let you two stay alive. Take a good look, Fire Fist Ace. He launches a magma fist at Luffy while he reaches for Ace's Vivre card. Luffy. Ace musters up the last of his strength to run in front of Luffy when a gust of wind picks both of the boys up along with the Vivre card before Akainu could touch them. Akainu clenches his teeth in frustration. Speaking of cursed bloodly Wa, a tornado grew from under him, causing him to go flying. The surrounding Whitebeard pirates stare in shock as the wind drops the boys and Rose rematerializes next to them on all fours while catching her breath. She saved Ace and Luffy. Whoa, WHO, is that girl? Doesn't matter. We gotta cover them. They fight off the surrounding Marines that are charging at them while Rose, Ace, and Luffy are recovering. Luffy sits up and looks at her in shock. Rose, you really are here? Why didn't you tell me? Are you okay? Rose smiles at him while lightly panting. Sorry, Luffy. I was held up by a bunch of Marines. Don't worry, I'll be fine. She slowly stands up while looking at her hand that's holding Ace's Vivre card to see it in perfect condition. I did it. I can't believe I saved Ace. Holy crap, that was too close. Are you two okay? Luffy and Ace nod as they get up, causing Rose to nod with a satisfied grin, then motions her hand for Ace. Good then, Ace, please come here for a second. He walks up to her curiously, only to get punched in the nose and knocked on his butt. What part of "don't fall for Akainu's taunts" did you freaking not understand? He looks up at her in shock while cradling his aching nose. What was I supposed to do? Let him keep bad-mouthing Whitebeard? You're supposed to make sure you live. Every pirate here is fighting so that you don't die. Words won't hurt Whitebeard. Your death, however, would have broken not only his heart but Luffy's and so many other people's that it's not even funny. Rose. Luffy says, causing Rose to turn away from Ace while he's frozen in shock to see him on the brink of tears. You don't mean that Ace was? Rose walks over to him and hands him Ace's Vivre card with a soft grin. It doesn't matter anymore. See? He slowly nods before taking the card and pulling her into a hug. Thank you so much, Rose, I love you. He kisses her on the cheek while he keeps a hold on her. She looks at him in shock while lightly blushing, then hugs him back with a large grin. I love you too. Damn it, I missed him. Ahem. Rose's blush doubles as she remembers where they are and lets go of him to turn to a surprised Ace. You two really are a couple? She sheepishly rubs the back of her head. Why yay. Sorry for not telling you when I tried to pick the cuffs. I felt you were too shocked to take in any more news. Right now we'd better get out of here before the lava mud comes back. Can you guys still run? They both nod, but when Luffy takes a step he starts tumbling, causing her to catch him. Crap, Ivankov's Horman too dangerous to fly with the admirals able to attack. Allow me to take him, Jinbei says as he runs up to them. I don't know who you are, girl, but you have my gratitude for rescuing Ace and Luffy. She shakes her head. I should be the one thanking you for helping us, Jinbei. Are you able to carry Ace too? He's also at his limit and we can't afford him facing Akainu again. What? Why should I take orders from? Ace shuts himself up under Rose's glare, causing Whitebeard to chuckle as he watches the scene while fighting off the surrounding marines. Gurarara. She's one interesting girl. She has my thanks for saving Ace. She's worthy of being my daughter. He runs to Akainu, who's recovering from Rose's tornado. This is for almost killing my son. Whitebeard uses his haki to slam Akainu to the ground, then faces off against Akainu's magma while the Whitebeard pirates run up to Rose, Luffy, Ace, and Jinbei and help them escape. Thank you for helping, young lady. Let's work together to get out of here, Vista says as he and the other commanders help clear a path for Jinbei as he carries the brothers while Rose runs with them. Thanks, Vista. Rose unsheathes her twin blades to fight off the marines with Jinbei close behind. Luffy stares at the ground before facing Rose. Rose, how long have you known about this war? She doesn't look at him while answering. A long time. I'm sorry for not telling you. I know I have a lot of explaining to do. I promise that you'll know the truth about everything once we're out of here. If not from me, then the letter I planted on you from that hug. Luffy shakes his head with a grin. Don't worry about it. As long as we get out together, I'm happy. She softly grins as she keeps fighting off the marines. Ace looks at the ground for a moment before facing her. Thank you. Not only for saving me, but also for protecting my secret. She blinks in surprise after kicking a marine in the gut, then grins at him. You're welcome, Ace. I'm just glad you're okay. Jinbei, a yellow sub. A giant earthquake cuts her off as everyone on the ground struggles to keep their balance to see that Whitebeard has split the island in two after sustaining terrible burns on his face from Akainu. Pops. Marco clenches his fists after knocking out Kizaru, then helps the pirates who are dangling on the ledge get onto the surface. Everyone, get to the ships and get out of here. The Whitebeard pirates hold back their tears while fighting off the marines to start boarding the ships when they hear a familiar laugh. Zihahaha. So you failed in killing Ace Sengoku? Shit. Rose along with the pirates and marines look to see Blackbeard and the level 6 impel down convicts with him. Teach. Ace grits his teeth as he struggles out of Jinbei's grip, but it's no good as Jinbei keeps a strong hold on him as he runs. I know you're angry, Ace, but you can't fight him now, Jinbei says as he keeps carrying Ace while ignoring his struggles. He's right, Ace, wait to fight him another day when you get stronger, Rose says as she clenches her twin blades while fighting. To be honest, I'd love to kick that traitor's ass more than anyone, but as I am now it won't do any good. Fine. Ace clenches his fists as they keep going. Teach. Whitebeard uses his devil fruit abilities to create an earthquake to slam Blackbeard to the ground. Blackbeard coughs as he staggers back up. I guess you're not going to hold back against your son, Pops. You're not my son anymore. You broke the only ironclad rule I had by killing Thatch. I don't want anyone to interfere. I'll make sure Thatch rests in peace by killing this bastard. Blackbeard smirks as he creates a black hole under them. Zihahaha. You really think that you can win? Thatch is dead and soon you will be too. I used to respect you as a pirate but you got too old, Black Whirlpool. He turns his arm into darkness and lunges at Whitebeard but he counters, causing him to cancel out his devil fruit abilities. How do you like not being able to? He's cut off when Whitebeard thrusts his spear into his shoulder. You always overestimated yourself. Whitebeard grabs his face with one hand and slams him to the ground. Blackbeard agonizes in pain as Whitebeard looms over him and gets ready to punch him. Blackbeard looks up at him in utter fear. You're a monster. A half-dead monster. Just die already, kill him, men. The level 6 convicts attack Whitebeard mercilessly while the division commanders weep for their captain. Pops. Ace bites his lip as he keeps his eyes on Whitebeard while Luffy clenches his fists in silence. I'm sorry, Ace, Rose says as she clenches onto her blades. Even stopping the stabbing couldn't stop him from dying. She attacks the surrounding Marines in rage as they keep going. The convicts finished up their ammo and watch as Whitebeard is on his last dying breath. He looks down at Blackbeard who's looking up at him in fear. Ha! It's not you, Teach. The man Roger's waiting for is definitely not you. Ha! The ones who have inherited Roger's will are still alive. I wasn't interested, but when someone does find that treasure the world will be shaken to its core. Somebody will find it, that day will surely come. Everyone, the One Piece is real. Wow! Luffy looks at him softly as he and the Whitebeards quietly mourn for their captain. Goodbye, Whitebeard. Rose bit her lip as she and the others looked to see Whitebeard standing with pride as he breathes his last breath. Get to the ships, everyone. Marco yells as he flies over to Jinbei's group. How are you holding up, Ace and Luffy, Yoi? We're okay, Luffy says. Ace looks down in guilt. Marco, I'm sorry about. Don't worry about it, Yoi. Pops wouldn't want you to feel guilty. He slowly nods as Marco turns to Rose. Thanks for protecting these two. Who exactly are you? Wind Rider Rose. A proud member of the Straw Hats. He widens his eyes in shock, then looks to Luffy who's nodding with a large grin. Yup, she's a part of my crew. We're also a Sioux. Rose rushes over to him and covers his mouth with a light blush on her face. He doesn't need to know about that, Luffy. Marco looks at them in shock while Ace softly chuckles. Let's just focus on getting out of here, Jinbei says as they reach the docks. Get on the ship. One of the pirates yells when suddenly the ocean starts to freeze. Everyone turns in shock to see Aokiji freezing the ocean. Crap! Rose starts running to Aokiji but stops when a pillar of magma shoots from the ground and reveals Akainu. Akainu lightly pants from exhaustion while glaring at Rose, Luffy and Ace. I already said that I won't let you filthy pirates live. That especially includes you, Devil of Hell's Comet. Rose clenches her teeth while Ivankov runs behind them. Jinbei boy, we'll cover you guys, go. Rose and Jinbei make a run for it while Ivankov and Marco faces off against Akainu. Devil of Hell's Comet, Luffy looks at Rose in confusion. Rose, what did he mean by whoa? Jinbei jumps off the island to get onto the ice with Rose flying right behind them. Akainu blasts his magma at Ivankov and Marco to get them out of his way, then uses his magma to send himself flying. Just accept your fates and die. He aims his magma at the boys. But Rose sends Jinbei flying with a twister kick to get them away from Akainu's blast and blocks the blow with a twister punch. Rose smirks at Akainu while he glares at her. You said magma beats fire, right, lava mutt? Well, wind hardens magma. She launches a twister punch with her other arm at him while he tries to counter, but the wind hardens his magma and forces him to get sent flying. She manipulates her arm to slam Akainu into Blackbeard, who is demonstrating his new quake powers, and knocks both of them onto the ground. Akainu grits his teeth in fury as he rushes back to the docks. What the hell? Blackbeard looks up in shock to see Rose in the air, flipping him off as she flies away. That's not even a fraction of what Blackbeard deserves, but I'll take it, Shellying with his upper half holding onto the boys for dear life as she catches up to them. Way to go, Bug. Aokiji raises himself up with his ice to Rose and imbues Haki in his ice to slam her to the ground. He lands in front of her and creates an ice barrier around them to seal Rose inside. Shit. Rose tries to fly out, but the barrier was sealed off before she could escape. Rose. Luffy tries to get out of Jinbei's grip, but he refuses to let go. You can't face him when you can't even get out of my grip, Luffy. He strengthens his grip on Luffy to keep him from falling off. We can't just leave her alone to face Aokiji, I'll get her out with my fire. Ace musters up as much energy as he could to launch a fire fist at the barrier, but Akainu blocks the blow. I said I won't let you live, didn't I? He goes to launch himself into the air again, but Crocodile and Marco block him. Vista and Namur, see if you can break the barrier to get Rose out of there. Everyone else, take care of Akainu. Marco says, causing them to nod as they work on breaking the barrier. Looks like everyone here's gonna stand in our way, Akainu says as he glares at Crocodile and the division commanders. As if we'd let you kill our brother. As for Luffy and Rose, we've seen their strength. After going so far to protect Ace, it's our duty to send them to the New Age, Izo says as they get ready to fight. You Whitebeard pirates are utter fools. Akainu turns his arm into magma as he charges towards the Whitebeard pirates. Damn it. Rose tries to break the ice barrier with her twister punch, but it's too thick. She lands on the ground to dodge Aokiji's ice spears, then unsheathes her twin blades as she glares at Aokiji. I don't know how much more I can take. I just have to hold out until Shanks comes to end the war. Aokiji keeps a straight face as he starts creating ice spears. Good to see you again, Windrider. Likewise, Aokiji. Ready to go? He nods as they face off. I take it after this war is when I face Akainu. She nods as she blocks his ice spears with her wind barrier and then gives him a twister kick, but he blocks. She flies up to him with her blades and swings for the legs, causing him to jump and meet an expected twister kick to slam him to the wall. I might as well give him a warning. She smirks as she tries to swipe at his legs again. I'd watch my legs if I were you. You never know when one's gonna get cut off. His eyes widen in shock as he dodges her swords and creates an ice pheasant to attack her. Wind blade cross. She cuts through the ice, then snaps a tornado before turning into wind. Aokiji blocks the twister with his ice and then gets hit in the side by a twister kick. He creates two ice pheasants to corner her, but she jumps in the nick of time to escape, only to get slammed to the ground by his ice. I'm impressed, Rose. You've grown a lot compared to when we first met. She staggers back up, then charges at him. I was still new to this world back then. He blocks her attack, then counters, causing her to dodge as they keep exchanging blows. I want to ask you one thing. Go ahead. Now that you're seen as a devil, do you regret coming to this world? Rose widens her eyes at the question, but then shakes her head with a soft grin as they fight. The one thing I won't regret is coming to this world. After all, this world has brought me so close to my dream that I can practically taste it. And now I have people I really cherish. If letting myself be seen as some demon is the cost of staying and helping the people I care about be happy, then so be it. Rose, if only you didn't become a pirate. He clenches his fists and kept going with his barrage of attacks as Vista and Namur start creating cracks in the barrier. Let me go, Jinbei. I gotta get Rose out of there. Luffy won't stop struggling as Jinbei keeps a strong grip on him. I keep telling you it won't do any good. You were barely able to stand before. Ouch. Jinbei winces as Ace tries to burn his arm to get him to let go of him, but it only causes him to grip onto him tighter to make him stop. You're even worse, Ace. If Rose didn't send you flying from Akainu's attack, you would have died. She told you to live, did she not? So knock it off. Ace winces at the grip as he glares at Jinbei. I can't just leave her trapped down there after what she did for me. She's reaching her limit too. Buggy looks at them in irritation as he holds onto them for dear life. You guys can argue all you want when I'm not carrying you. What the hell do I? A yellow submarine surfaces from the water right under Buggy. Bring them here. Law yells as he, Beppo, and Jean Bart run out onto the deck. Take them. Good riddance. Buggy throws them at the sub for them to get caught by Jean Bart. Great. Then let's wait. What happened to Rose? She's facing Aokiji right now. I gotta go help her, Luffy says as he tries to run off the sub with Ace, but the two of them are held back by Jinbei and Jean Bart. I keep telling you two that you can't help her, Jinbei says as he holds Luffy back while Jean Bart holds Ace back. Law nods in agreement as he motions for Beppo to get some sedatives. He's right. I'm sure she has some otherworldly tricks up her sleeve to escape. We have to get ourselves out while we can. Luffy looks at him in confusion as he struggles. Where are you talking, Ab? Crash. The guys look in shock to see Vista, and Namur break the barrier to see Rose on her knees while Aokiji looms over her. Hold on, Rose. Vista goes to pick her up, but Aokiji attacks him with an ice sword, causing him to block. Namur goes to attack Aokiji from behind only for him to dodge and starts freezing the two of them. Rose clenches her teeth in frustration as the wind around her picks up. Leave them alone. Rose sends him flying with a twister punch as the wind gets stronger around her, but he immediately recovers as he walks up to her while Vista and Namur are half frozen and can't fight. Chill, Rose. I didn't forget about you. I have something special in mind for you. He creates an ice sword as the wind wraps around her limbs and creates her wind armor. The wind armor from Thriller Bark. I'll take what I can get right now in order to get away. Rose growls as she takes Namur and Vista with her and makes a run for it with Aokiji in pursuit. Vista and Namur stare at her in shock as she places them on one of the stolen battleships, then starts flying away from Aokiji while panting from exhaustion. Like I'd let you get away. Aokiji infuses his ice with armament haki and launched it at her. She dodged, then launched a twister punch at Aokiji that slammed him to the ground. While Aokiji took the hit, he pushed his haki-imbued ice through the barrier and trapped her right arm in ice. Shit. She works to get her hand free while Aokiji used his ice to lift himself up in the air. He frees her hand only to force his hand through her wind to grab her by the neck and slams her to the ground to knock her out and cancel the armor. Luffy and Ace watch in horror as Aokiji approaches her with a new ice sword while she lays on her back unconscious. Luffy tries to get into second gear, but he's too tired, causing him to struggle even harder under Jinbei's grip. Let me go, damn it. I gotta help her. Get up, Rose. Ace clenches his teeth in rage as he tries to use his fire only to feel a needle in his neck and fall unconscious by Beppo's sedative. I'm sorry. He picks Ace up over his shoulder and carries him inside while Luffy keeps struggling, but freezes to see Rose stabbed in the stomach by Aokiji's sword. He doesn't take his eyes off of her as tears appear in his eyes as he struggles to get to her harder than ever. Rusi. Shachi snuck up behind him and stuck a sedative in his neck to knock him out while holding back his own tears. Law nods in approval as he and the others rush inside with Jinbei carrying Luffy, and they make a break for it to avoid the incoming battleships. Marco and the surrounding Whitebeard pirates watched in horror as Aokiji stabbed Rose and Lear's stomach. Marco clenches his fists in rage as he runs towards Aokiji but gets blocked by Akainu. For once that Ice Head did something right and killed the outsider. I refuse to let anyone else escape. He launches a magma fist at Marco only to be blocked by Shanks' sword. The pirates and marines look in shock to see Shanks' ship approaching the island. What the hell? Shanks is here. What's a Yonko doing here? Shanks sheathes his sword as he turns his gaze to the crowd. I'm here to end the war. Red hair, Marco says as he clenches his fists. Marco, withdraw your men and take that girl with you. He points to Rose, causing him to nod as he rushes over to her. Fighting anymore will only cause meaningless casualties. But, if anyone else wants to go at it, my crew will be more than willing to take you on. Blackbeard smirks while nodding in understanding. Zihahaha, I got what I came here for, so there's no need to be fighting you yet. Let's go, men. He and his subordinates retreated while Shanks turned his attention to Sengoku. Whitebeard and the girl. We'll take care of their burials. You broadcasted their deaths to the entire world. I refuse to have you humiliate them any further. One of the vice admirals turns to Sengoku in rage. Don't listen to him, Sengoku. Showing off their heads will show some consolation for not killing Ace. Sengoku shakes his head. Since it's you, red hair, I'll take responsibility for this. He nods in approval. Thank you. Men, attend to the wounded. This war is over, Sengoku yells, causing the marines to start pulling back. Marco looks down at Rose's body sadly, then kneels beside her as he gently takes the ice sword out of her. I'm sorry, Yoi. He gently picks her up, then freezes in shock to feel that she's faintly breathing. What the hell? She's still alive. Rose was a strong woman. One of the very few pirates that I will ever respect. Aokiji says with a straight face as he walks up behind Marco as he turns to him in shock. It's a shame that I had to do this, but now that she's dead the world will be content and she won't have to be hunted down now. I leave the rest to you. He winks at Marco with a ghost of a grin before walking off, causing Marco to stare at him in shock. He missed her vitals on purpose. I gotta get her treated now. He takes her to one of the ships as quickly as possible without raising suspicion to get her treated as they depart for the new world. Zoro grits his teeth in rage as he finishes reading. That little brat. He stuffs the letter in his pocket, grabs his swords, then gets up and starts running to get to the baboons. Scared of how everyone would react to you? You'll accept any punishment we dish out? You're such an idiot, Rose. Who cares about this other world crap? When will you quit acting like you're not a part of the freaking crew? What's with the shouting? Perona asks as she floats next to Zoro. He freezes, then glares at Perona. You knew about Rose too, didn't you? She quirks an eyebrow in confusion. Do you mean about the whole other world deal? Of course. It's why Master Moria placed her shadow into oars. You didn't know? He clenches his fists in fury. Her enemies knew, yet she kept it all to herself around us. Damn it, Rose. Your trust in us was so low that you felt that you had to pretend to be psychic to keep it from us. He ran to the left, which is the opposite direction of the baboons. That's the wrong way, Perona says. Zoro freezes to go the opposite direction and faces an army of baboons. He unsheathes his swords to get ready to charge when the baboons freeze when they see Mihawk behind him. What are you doing on my island, Rorinoa? So she was right about this too. Zoro glares at him as he gets in a stance. Mihawk huffs. Relax, I won't attack you. You're in no condition to face me. How did you get here? Your friend Kuma sent us flying, causing us to get separated. He nods in understanding. That explains why Rose invaded Marineford alone while Luffy stormed the island later on with a group of convicts. He widens his eyes in shock. You saw Rose and Luffy? What happened to them? Luffy's fine, but his heart was dealt a great blow. What? What happened to him? And what about Rose? Rose made sure Luffy and his brother escaped the war with their lives. But she was caught in a battle with Aokiji and was killed. He froze as he processed his words. What did you say? Windrider Rose died while Luffy watched helplessly. He widened his eyes in horror as tears start appearing in his eyes. I hope there are no hard feelings from this morning, Zoro. Since we're Nakama now, let's be friends. Damn it. He clenched his eyes shut to hold back from crying, then opens them as he charges at the baboons in rage. Rose, you idiot. If you had just let us in, this wouldn't have happened. He grits his teeth on the scabbard as he blocked the baboon's strikes. Tears started appearing in his eyes again, but he ignored them and kept slashing through the baboons. I'm sorry if being harsh on you at the beginning caused you to close yourself up. Luffy, please be okay at least. I'll be there soon. He fights the baboons endlessly while Mihawk watched from a distance with a soft look on his face. Rusi! Nami yells in fury as she stuffs her letter in her bag and gets her stuff ready to leave Weatheria while ranting under her breath. I can't believe her. She finally told me where New York is, but through a letter, played this psychic charade while bottling up her fear of us knowing about her. Worst of all, she finally confessed to Luffy but still feels like we're gonna hate her for being from another world. When I get my hands on her, I'll give her a fine so large that it'll have to be passed down to her and Luffy's grandkids before it's paid off. She grabs her bag and starts running but freezes when she sees the news coup flying down to her. I might as well have some reading material for the ride down. She takes the newspaper from the bird and goes to put it away, but freezes in shock to see a picture of Rose on the front cover. What's this? She looks in terror to see a picture of Rose lying unconscious on the ground with an ice sword planted in her stomach and blood surrounding her. Straw Hat Pirate Katone Rose invaded the War of the Best and aided Whitebeard and Straw Hat Luffy in preventing Fire Fist Ace's execution. This girl is a demon that came to this world by using the power of Hell's Comet in order to spread chaos to the world. She used her otherworldly knowledge and devil fruit ability to bombard the war with tornadoes, and create a fake order in an attempt to weaken the Marines' forces before the war started. This witch was slain by the heroic Admiral Aokiji while she was trying to flee with Fire Fist and Straw Hat. The whereabouts of these two pirates are unknown, but their likeliness of survival are high. Nami covered her mouth to smother her sobbing as she fell on her knees and started crying. If you're that worried about money, I can help. We just need a guitar. I'm from a city called New York. Thanks guys, you're the best. She couldn't stop sobbing as she glares at the article. She's not some demon or witch, you assholes. She's my friend. Gasp. Asterisk Luffy watched her die. He must be tortured right now. I have to go help him. She gets up while still weeping, grabs her stuff, and starts making a run for it to get out of the island. What the hell? Frankie says as he reads his letter in shock while he and Kitten are restocking on cola in Vegapunk's abandoned house on Karakuri Island. What's the mat, big bro? Kitten asks as he grabs a bottle of cola for himself from the fridge. My crazy crewmate pretended to be psychic to keep her secret hidden about being from another world. I can't believe Freckles knew why I had to turn myself into a cyborg and about Tom. No wonder she was so ruthless towards Spanda. Hee, she sure is something. His look of shock changed into a grin as he stores cola into his stomach fridge. I'll admit this is super crazier than being psychic, but to think that we'd hate her for this. I can't go around hating someone who's like my little sister. I'm getting out of here to knock some sense into her. He goes to pack up some extra bottles of cola when a newspaper article starts printing from one of Vegapunk's machines. He quirks an eyebrow as he takes the page, then freezes in horror. Fr Freckles? He couldn't take his eyes off Rose's picture as tears start swelling up. Did I ever tell you how much I like it when you call me Freckles, Frankie? Well, I do. I'll see you around, big bro. No. Wah? Is this some sick joke? We finally understand her and she dies? What kind of big bro am I if I can't even protect my little sister? Big bro. Kitten walks up to him sadly and hugs him while he wipes his tears. Thanks, kid. I have to get to the others. No doubt they're hurting too. Just hang tight, guys. Big bro's coming. He packs up his cola quickly and leaves to try to get to Sabaody. Robin giggles at her letter while the revolutionaries are taking care of the escapees of Tequila Wolf. Hi Robin, if you're reading this, that means the others know about me now. I went to go fight in a war to help Luffy save Ace. The cost of me going to that battle though was having my secret be revealed to the world. I made these letters and sent them to everyone so that they would learn the truth from me. I want to thank you again for covering for me. Seeing the others react to me so kindly when they thought I was psychic along with your support helped me work up the courage to write these. I promise to take responsibility for the psychic act. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still worried about how they'll react to me, but I'm also glad that I won't have to hide anymore. Oh yay, guess what? On the island I landed on I saw Spandine. He was the warden on a prison island. I gave him a good beat down and released all the convicts. You should have seen the look on his face when I landed on him. That jerk didn't know what hit him, ha ha ha. Anyway, you're in good hands with the revolutionaries, so don't worry about them. I'll see you back in Sabaody. Rose, she stares at the letter with a soft grin then places it in her pocket. I'm glad to know I did the right thing by covering for her. Seeing everyone in Sabaody will be a fun reunion. She starts walking when a member of the revolutionaries walks up to her. Nico, Robin, please wait. Here, he gives her a jacket tee. Thank you, but how do you know my name? Everyone in the Revolutionary Army knows your name. I would like to ask that you trust us and come with us. She softly shakes her head. I'm sorry. I do trust you, but I made a promise with my friends to meet them. He nods in understanding then freezes. You're referring to the Straw Hat crew, correct? I'm so sorry. She quirks an eyebrow in confusion. Sorry for what? You don't know? It's best if you learn about it from your crew then. She shakes her head. Please tell me. I'm interested to hear. He bites his lip before nodding. Very well, in the recent war in Marineford, Cotone Rose and Monkey D. Luffy managed to rescue Portgas D. Ace from dying. However, while fleeing, Rose was forced to fight Aokiji and was killed in battle. Robin completely froze in dread then grabbed his shoulders frantically. That can't be right, are you sure? He slowly nodded. I'm sorry, no, Aokiji. Why? Wasn't it bad enough that you killed Saul? Tears started streaming down her face as she lets go of him and runs to an isolated part of the island. She sits down to cry as she takes out her picture of the crew. Rose, please tell me it's not true. She keeps staring at the photo hoping for an answer but is only answered with silence. I know you're not a curse. I'm the Straw Hat Pirate's astronomer. Nothing less. Thanks again, Robin, for everything. She starts sobbing as she stares at the picture and allows her tears to land on Rose's spot in the photo. Chopper reads his letter with stars in his eyes after he treated his injuries in the infirmary in the Torino Kingdom. Rose is from another world. I always knew she was cool, but this is awesome. He keeps reading it then looks at it sadly. She must have been really scared if she felt that she had to pretend to be psychic. When we meet again, I'm gonna support her. He nods to himself as he starts grabbing his stuff and accidentally knocks the new newspaper to the floor. He goes to pick it up when he sees Rose's picture and stops himself in his tracks. What's this? He slowly picks it up and reads the article. He slowly shakes his head while holding back from crying. This can't be right. Rose is strong, she can't die. He throws the newspaper to the other side of the room. Sorry, Doc. I can't help myself when I'm in a fight. With you as my doctor, I'm not worried. Thanks for the treatment, Doc. Wha? He couldn't hold back from crying anymore. Why did you have to die, Rose? Why weren't you more careful? I don't want you to leave. He silently weeps as he gets the newspaper and rereads the article to find the part about Luffy and Ace escaping. He wipes his tears and gets back to grabbing his medical supplies. Luffy must be feeling the worst of it right now. Sniff, I can't just stay here and cry. As a doctor, it's my duty to treat his injuries. I'm sure Rose wouldn't want me crying anymore either. I won't just sit by here. I'm a man. I need to be there for my friends. He rushes out of the room to try to get out of the island as quickly as possible. Sanji happily runs around Kamabaka Island in a dress and makeup on his face. Sanji-chan. A letter has arrived for you, one of the Okamas say as he hands him the letter. Thank you very much. He happily takes the letter, but when he opens it his smile is replaced with utter shock. What is this? He reads the letter from Rose while the makeup on his face dripped until he was no longer wearing any. Rose, is this a love letter? He dances with excitement until he looks at the bottom of the page that says this is not a love letter, Sanji. He blinks at it in surprise before grinning. She knows me so well. She really is one of a kind. He chuckles as he runs back to the castle and got out of the dress and back in a suit. So Rose is from another world that practically watched over our adventures and lives. She really is an angel from heaven. Shame on me for not seeing it sooner. Once I return, I'll be sure to make her favorites as an apology. He gets out of the castle to try to make a run for it. The Okamas look at him in shock and start chasing him again. Hold on, Sanji-chan. Where's your beautiful dress? You were so lovely, Sanji-chan. Shut up, I'm a man. Sanji yells as he makes a run for it from a group of chasing Okamas. If Rose knew about this, then it must be to challenge me in getting away from these guys. Don't worry, Rose-chan. I'll take this challenge head on. He keeps running until he manages to lose them in a forest section of the island. He sits down to catch his breath as he looks at the letter again. I wish she would have told us in person though. She must have been terrified if she felt she had to pretend to be psychic. When the crew meets up, I'll make sure she knows that she's welcome in this world. He starts to get up but looks up to see a news coup flying down to him. Thanks. He takes the newspaper then freezes and glares at Rose's article in fury. What the hell is this? They're calling her a demon, and that bastard Aokiji had the nerve to kill her. He rips the newspaper in half but freezes as the newspaper's picture of Rose lands in front of him. Rose, he gently picked it up while feeling his throat tighten as he stares at the picture. Don't worry. We'll give those Marines hell for taking Robin. Please hurry. If you don't keep going, Robin won't be saved by her prince. I'm okay, Sanji. I just messed up. He froze as he felt tears streaming down his face and his bottom lip starting to quiver. Rose-chan. The birds in the forest flew away from his shouting as he openly sobbed while gripping onto Rose's picture. When he calmed himself down, he got up and struggled with his lighter for a minute until he managed to light a cigarette. That article mentioned her fighting in a war with Luffy to save Ace. Did he get away? Why didn't he try to take her with him? I have to hear his side of things and make sure he's alright. He starts running again to try to find a boat to get off the island, only to be chased by Okamas again. Usopp stares at his letter in utter shock in a safe part of the Boine archipelago. Just when you think you know a girl. I can't believe she knew about Kaya and the Usopp pirates. She must have known about how important the Mary was to me too before we even got to Water 7. Even while knowing that she can't be fixed, She was willing to help me fight the Frankie family. He lips curled into a smile before bursting out laughing. Ha ha ha. For someone who knows so much about this world, she can be as stupid as Luffy. After all the adventures we went through, does she really think we can hate her for where she came from? I'm impressed she managed to play the psychic act so well. I'm sure back in her world she wanted to meet Captain Usopp so badly that she jumped on the first opportunity to come here. Don't worry, Rose. Captain Usopp is on his way. He grabs his slingshot and starts shooting through the island while avoiding giant animal attacks. Heracles follows him in confusion. Usopp, wait, it's dangerous to fight through the island. Why the sudden change in attitude? You weren't this motivated before. My friend sent me this letter telling me why she actually knew about the crew's adventures. She allowed us to separate in order to get us stronger. She must know that conquering these beasts are a great warm-up for the great Captain Usopp. When we meet again, we'll be ready for sure. Usopp takes a shot at one of the animals but got knocked down by another animal. Heracles managed to rescue him and brought him to a safe part of the island to treat his injuries. I know you're excited, Usopp, but you shouldn't strain yourself. This island is very dangerous. I'm willing to assist you if you wish. Usopp nods. I appreciate the help. He starts getting up when the news coup flies down to them. Thanks for the newspaper. He takes the paper, then looks in horror at Rose's article. This can't be right. He clenches onto the newspaper the article in horror, hoping that it's a mistake. Rose, his tears start falling as he throws the newspaper into the air, then starts running with his slingshot. Usopp, you're not useless. You're the greatest sniper I've ever seen. I wouldn't have been able to catch the fish without your lesson. Thanks, Usopp. You're a great teacher. Damn it. He shoots past some of the carnivorous plants with Heracles following worriedly. What's the matter, Usopp? You were just happy a minute ago. Why did you have to die and leave Luffy, Rose? He keeps weeping as he tries to escape the island. The friend I just talked about died in the recent war. She went there to get Luffy and Ace out of there. I can't rest anymore. Luffy needs me. She and Luffy were practically lovers. Even with his brother there, he's going to be in pain. If I can't be there for him in a time like this, then what kind of friend am I? He charges through the island with Heracles following to save him from the giant beasts attacking him. Brook starts writing some new songs in his room on Namakura Island with excitement after reading Rose's letter. Yoho ho. Rose-san truly is something. I think my heart stopped from the shock of that letter. But wait, I don't have a heart. Yoho ho. So she's from another world, huh? How amazing. A wonderful inspiration for a new song. He keeps writing, then drops the pen and sighs. I only wish she didn't pretend to be psychic. I understand though, it's pretty scary when you're different from everyone else. As soon as we meet again, I'll be sure to return the kindness that she's shown me when we first met. He nods as he gets back to writing his music, then freezes. I lost my focus. No. He raises his arms and accidentally scatters the papers everywhere. Sigh, I'm in a slump again. Maybe reading Rose's letter again can help me provide new inspiration. He searches through the papers on the floor to find her letter when he freezes to find a newspaper article. What's this? He reads it, then freezes when he sees Rose's picture. No. He slowly reads the article while clenching onto the newspaper. It's a pleasure to meet you, Brook. My name's Rose. I'd love to learn some of your songs sometime, Brook. He's not scary. Rose-san. He sobs as he held onto the article. Why did you have to die, Rose-san? I'm supposed to be the dead one? Wait. This article mentioned a war involving Luffy-san and his brother. Did they get away? He keeps weeping as he reads the article again, then gets up. I must go to my crewmates so we can mourn together. Rose-san, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. He leaves the room to get ready to depart from Namakura Island. Law's submarine surfaced on the coast of Amazon Lily after Hancock led the way. Ace, Jimbei, Law, and some of his crew walk onto the island while Luffy was resting in the infirmary of the submarine. I'm only allowing you to stay here due to Luffy, so you'd better be grateful, Hancock says as they slowly nod. Please wake up soon, Luffy. She heads back to the village to get food ready for Luffy while the guys rest on the island. Ace sits down and keeps his focus on the ocean. You're awfully quiet, Portgas, ya, Law says. Wouldn't you be if your brother's girlfriend died in a war to save you? He nods in understanding. Fair enough. This has been a crazy experience. What really fascinated me though was that Straw Hat Ya didn't even know the truth about her. Jinbei and Ace look at him in confusion. What truth are you talking about? Jinbei asks. The truth of her origins and knowledge. He takes out Luffy's envelope from his pocket and hands it to Ace. I don't know when, but during the war she planted this letter on him. I guess as a precaution in case something like this happened. I have to say it's rather clever. Ace looks at the opened envelope in shock. You read it? He shrugs his shoulders. I was curious. Don't worry, I didn't tamper with it. All the words on that letter are from her. Feel free to look. Curiosity got the better of Ace as he took out the letter and he and Jinbei read it. Both of their eyes widened in shock at what they read. What the hell? Ace says. Luffy didn't know, Jinbei says. Law shakes his head. Apparently nobody in her crew knew. Sengoku announced her origins to the world while she was trying to pick your cuffs. It gave everyone a real shock. Ace looks at the letter softly. Don't worry Ace, your secret's safe. I can tell it's my secret, he told Rose. He bit his lower lip as he stuffs the letter in his pocket, then starts walking back to the sub. I'm gonna check on Lou. Luffy lays down on the infirmary bed sleeping, then starts to stir as memories of Rose start popping up in his head. Luffy. The ride's over now. You gotta let go. I can make you my first human flyer if you want. I'm sorry for not telling you about the war. I'll tell you everything when we get out of here. I love you too. The last memory to appear was the scene of him watching helplessly as Rose was attacked by Aokiji and was stabbed. Luffy jolts awake from the memory. He gets up and runs out of the infirmary to be blocked by Shachi, Penguin and Beppo. Hold on Luffy. You're still too exhausted to move, Shachi says. He lightly pants as he glares at them. I can't rest anymore, I have to find Rose. Beppo looks at him sadly while Penguin and Shachi hold back from crying. Rose. Penguin wipes his threatening tears while slowly walking up to Luffy. Luffy, we're sorry but Rose died in the war. Quit lying. He goes to punch him in rage but he dodges and keeps trying to punch them to make an opening, then jumps out of the sub and lands on the island in front of a shocked Ace, Jinbei and Law before running into the jungle. Luffy, get back here. You're still hurt, Ace yells as he and Jinbei run after him. Law huffs as he watches them run. Good luck Straw Hat Ya. Luffy runs around the island in frustration as he searches for Rose. Rose, where are you? Quit hiding already. He looks up at the clouds and reaches up to them but Rose wasn't in there. Then pictures of Rose getting attacked by Aokiji appear in his head. He clenches his head in pain. It's not true. Rose isn't dead. She's too stubborn to die. They keep popping up until he remembers seeing Rose get stabbed in the stomach. Get out of my head. He slams his head to a boulder then pants from exhaustion while looking at the sky. Rose. You can't be dead. You promised you were going to tell me something, right? Then where are you? He keeps running around the jungle until Ace and Jinbei catch up to him and tackle him to the ground. You gotta stop Luffy, Ace says as he and Jinbei get off of him. Luffy looks at Ace and grabs his shoulders. Ace, you really are okay? What happened to Rose? Please, tell me her dying was a dream. Jinbei and Ace look at him softly. I'm sorry Luffy, Jinbei says, causing tears to appear in Luffy's eyes before punching Jinbei. Why did you hold me back? If you had let me get to her she wouldn't have died. Luffy, Ace clenched his fists as Jinbei got up. He dusts himself off then glares at Luffy. I did what I had to in order to make sure you and Ace live. You couldn't save her if you couldn't have even escaped my grip. Shut up. Luffy goes to punch him but Jinbei grabs his arm and flips him over his shoulder. In your condition you cannot defeat me, but if you need to let out your frustration I'll be your opponent. Luffy gets up while glaring at Jinbei and charges at him. While Jinbei and Luffy are having their fight, Ace watches them in frustration. Damn it, this is all my fault. She should have just let me die. You're supposed to make sure you live. Your death would have broken not only Whitebeard's heart, but Luffy's and so many other people's that it's not even funny. Didn't you know how important your life was for Luffy too, Rose? Ace goes into his pocket to get the letter while Jinbei pins Luffy to the ground. Luffy couldn't hold back anymore as he starts crying. Be Pirate King if I couldn't even save someone close to me. Jinbei grits his teeth as he lets go of him. You can't be worrying about those things. Have you gone blind to those that you have? You have indeed lost a lot. But you're not alone. You have both your brother and the rest of your nakama? Luffy freezes in shock as he keeps tearing up. I still have them, Ace and the rest of my crew. I want to see the others again. Ace walks up to Luffy and hands him the letter. Rose planted this on you during the war. It's up to you if you want to read it or not. Luffy looks at the letter in shock. Rose, he slowly nods as he starts reading the letter. Hi Luffy, if you're reading this then we got separated during the war so I couldn't tell you the truth in person. Don't worry though, with my luck I'm probably safe on Whitebeard or Shanks' ship right now. I'm sorry, I knew that we were going to separate in Sabaody Archipelago. I didn't prevent it from happening for a reason. We're not ready for the new world yet. The crew getting separated because of Kuma's attack was proof. Everyone else is safe though, I guarantee. Where Kuma sent each of us were places where we could get strong enough for the future. Rayleigh will be coming on your island soon to offer to teach you some techniques that will make you strong enough to protect everyone. I know it's selfish of me to ask, but please listen to him. I promise that these techniques will get you strong enough for the challenges ahead. There's another thing you deserve to know, I'm not a psychic like Robin said. I played along because I was scared of how everyone was going to react. I'm going to tell you the truth as to why I know so much, but it binds with how I got on your ship, so I'm gonna start with that. Do you remember the comet that I'm studying that travels to other worlds? One night I saw that comet flying across the sky and I made a wish on it to leave my world to go to one of the worlds I read about. I accidentally used my crystal to make it happen. For the next morning I woke up on the deck of your ship. The reason that I know so much about this world is that in my world this world is a story involving the crew's adventures, and I read a lot about them before I came here. If you don't believe me, I have some information as proof. When you were 7 you got that scar under your eye by stabbing yourself in the face to prove that you were a man to Shanks. If that's not enough, you and Ace were raised by Dayton the mountain bandit on Mount Corvo. I won't go any further. I'm sorry for deceiving you. I promise that I didn't cause any major changes in your adventures unless if I succeeded in preventing Ace from dying in the war. If I failed, then I'm sorry. I know how important Ace was to you. Please know that you're not alone, Luffy. You have everyone in the crew, Shanks, Dayton, Makino, and I'm here to support you too. The last thing you are, Luffy, is alone, so please don't give up on your dream. I love you and I promise to be there when we all meet. Rose. Luffy couldn't take his eyes off the letter until he saw his tears hitting the paper. Rose. He clenches the letter tightly while sobbing as Ace pulls him into a hug. Damn it, Rose. Why didn't you tell me about where you came from sooner? You shouldn't have been scared. I don't care about what you know about us or what world you're from. I just wanted you to stay. Ace grips onto his brother tighter while holding back his own tears. Luffy, I'm sorry. Rose is right though, you're not alone. Don't give up on your dream because of this. I promise I'll help you get stronger. Luffy slowly nods as he wipes his tears, then hugs him back. Thanks, Ace. Jinbei watches the two brothers softly. We should get back. Both guys nod as they start heading back to the cove. When they make it back they find Law's submarine gone and Rayleigh drying himself off after swimming to the island. Rayleigh, you really did come here, Luffy says. So this is the Dark King, Rayleigh? I'm astonished, Jinbei says as he and Luffy approach him. Ace remains frozen while staring at Rayleigh. So this guy was Roger's first mate. If he can really help Luffy get stronger, then I won't complain. He clenches his fists as he joins the group. Good to see you, Luffy. I'm sorry for your loss, Rayleigh says as he looks at him softly. He nods with a soft grin. Thanks. What happened to the crew that was here? If you mean Trafalgar Law, he and his crew sailed away a little while ago. He wanted me to tell you that you need to rest up for at least a week. Rayleigh, Luffy, Marigold calls out as she, Sardisonia, and Hancock walk over to them with a cart full of food. Here you go, Luffy. Eat all that you want. I'm so glad you're okay, Hancock says as she blushes and looks away from him, then glares at the other guys. You guys can only have a mouthful unless it's okay with Luffy. Ace and Jinbei's sweat drop at her attitude, then look at Luffy in confusion as he's eating. What the hell is with Luffy and the girls? They shake their heads from the thought, then grab some food. After they finished eating, Rayleigh walks over to Luffy. Luffy, I have a proposal for you. It will help you get stronger, but it's up to you to decide. Luffy widens his eyes as he remembers Rose's letter. Rayleigh will offer to teach you some techniques that will make you strong enough to protect everyone. I know it's selfish to ask, but please listen to him. He slowly nods. What's the proposal exactly? On an unknown island in the New World, the Whitebeard pirates and Red Hair pirates have finished Whitebeard and Rose's funeral with only Marco and Shanks left staring at the gravestones. I can't thank you enough for this, Red Hair. Not only for allowing us to bury Whitebeard but for also helping me fake Rose's death by keeping her on your ship while we worked on this yoi. Marco stares at Rose's fake tombstone that has her name carved in the stone. The grave is surrounded by flowers with a staff that looks similar to Rose's standing upright behind it and her jacket hanging from it. Shanks nods. Think nothing of it. To be honest, I'm amazed by her. It's a miracle that she managed to survive. If you didn't bring her in when you did, she would have died of blood loss. Marco slowly nods. So what now? She hasn't woken up yet. Shanks stares at the grave in thought. It would be too dangerous to have her stay with you guys since the Marines will be observing your movements from now on. I'm willing to take her with me. He looks at him in shock. Are you sure about that, yoi? He nods with a grin. I don't mind. Let's go check up on her. The guys start making their way to the ship when Vista runs up to them with a newspaper in his hands. Marco, Shanks, Ace and his brother did something crazy again. He shows them the newspaper article of Luffy ringing the ox bell and the picture of Luffy holding his hat over his chest in a moment of silence with his arm tattooed. 3D2Y. Ace stands beside him in the photo while bowing his head in silence. Marco gapes at the article in shock. What the hell are those two doing, yoi? Shanks laughs at the article. You can never tell with those two. I'm sure Rose can tell us what they're trying to do. Vista shakes his head. That's not needed. Ace gave us a call on a Den Mushi just now. He told us that he's staying with Luffy to train on hockey with him under Rayleigh. He's going to what? Did you tell him about Rose? Marco asks. We tried to, but he sounded like he was being chased and yelled something like, "Quit touching me, you crazy Kuja girls." Then he hung up before we could say anything. When we tried to call him back, we couldn't reach him. Both of them stare at Vista in disbelief until Shanks starts laughing while Marco's still shocked. I don't want to know, yoi. Shanks recovers while wiping his eyes. Ha ha ha, don't worry about it. At least they're together. Did he say how long they'll train? Vista nods. He said it will take 2 years. He also said that he's gonna stay with Y-Meet and hitch a ride with them to the New World and meet us there. Marco sighs. I swear these Ds are as selfish as ever, yoi. At least we know they're okay. How's Rose's condition? She's still out cold, but the other commanders and the bird are keeping her company. I can't believe that Falcon Zira managed to follow us all the way from Marineford. Shanks nods. At least it explains how the fake order came in. We're about to go see her now, come on. The three guys head into Shanks' ship's infirmary where the division commanders, Zira and Squardo, are waiting around in the infirmary while filling the room with various kinds of flowers. They look to see Rose sleeping soundly with bandages around her arms, neck and torso while wearing her V-neck and jeans, as well as 2 IV bags filled with medical liquids connected to her left arm. The crew's Dr. Angela, a woman with shoulder-length brown hair, blue eyes, around her late 40s, in a green shirt, black pants and white lab coat, twitches an eyebrow in irritation after checking her IV tubes. Enough with the flowers. This place is looking like a greenhouse. And will you quit crowding the room already? I told you that when Rose wakes up I'd tell you. No way. We have to be here to thank her, Squardo says as he finishes placing his flowers in a corner of the room. If it wasn't for her I would have stabbed Pops. Rose needs a buddy with her, so I'm staying, Zira says as she flies onto Rose's bed and sits next to her. She stopped Ace from dying. We're not leaving, besides this place is too dreary for an infirmary. It needs to be brightened up, Izo says. Angela groans in frustration, then sees Marco at the doorway. Help me get these idiots out of the room. He softly chuckles as he turns to the guys. She's right, guys, we have to get going. Rose is going to stay with Red Hair, yoi. The guys start sulking. We couldn't even talk to her though, Namur says. He's right though. If our crews stay together for too long it will get suspicious, and it's safer with Red Hair, Haruta says as he looks at her in disappointment, then turns to Shanks. Can we at least exchange Den Mushi numbers so that we can talk to her after she wakes up? Shanks nods as he gives him a slip of paper with the number. Here you go. Don't worry guys, when things blow over we'll see each other. Haruta nods with a grin as he takes the paper, then gives him their number. Thank you. Consider the flowers a thank you gift. The guys leave with only Marco, Zira, Shanks and Angela in the room. Shanks chuckles as he looks around the room to see the different colored flowers everywhere. If I didn't know better, I would think that she's a member of your crew by the way you guys are treating her. Marco softly laughs. Some of the others overheard Pops say that she's worthy of being his daughter, so they started considering her our new sister even though she's in another crew. For what she did, I'm with them on this. Promise me that you'll take care of her, Shanks. He nods. Don't worry, we'll make sure she's safe while she's recovering, and when she's up and running again she'll decide what to do. He nods in approval before turning to Zira. From one bird to another, good luck, Zira Yoi. Back at you, Birdman. She flies over to Marco and high-fives him with her wing before returning to her place by Rose's side. I'll see you later, Yoi. Marco returns to his ship and starts sailing off the island with Shanks' ship traveling in a different direction. Angela sighs in relief while crossing her arms over her chest. Glad they're finally gone. I gotta admit though, the place looks nice. Zira, as long as you don't make too much noise you can stay in the room with her. Understand? She nods as she starts yawning, then dozes off next to Rose. Shanks grins as he and Angela walk out of the room. She should be waking up any day now. Her injuries on her arm and neck are still pretty bad, so she shouldn't be going anywhere for a while. Angela says. He nods in understanding. Gotcha. They make it out on the deck when Angela stops him from walking. Any idea how to tell her that the world thinks she's dead? He freezes at the question, then rakes his hand through his hair in a panic. Oh crap. I have no freaking idea.